John Milton, 1608 to 1674, was one of the most significant English poets and intellectuals of the 17th century. His writings spanned poetry, prose, and political philosophy, leaving an enduring mark on literature, theology, and political thought. Early life and education. Born December 9, 1608, in London, England. Milton came from a well-to-do family, his father being a scrivener and a composer of music. He was educated at St. Paul's School and later at Christ's College, Cambridge, where he earned his BA in 1629 and MA in 1632. From an early age, he showed a talent for writing in Latin, Greek, and English. Key works and literary career. Milton's literary career can be divided into different phases. Early poetry. On the Morning of Christ's Nativity, 1629, a nativity ode that demonstrated his early interest in religious themes and elaborate language. L'Allegro and Il Pensieroso, 1631 to 1632. These two companion poems contrast the active, joyful life with the contemplative, thoughtful one, showcasing Milton's philosophical depth. Lycidas, 1637, an elegy for a friend, Edward King, who drowned. It is both a personal and a political meditation on death, fame, and the role of the poet. Prose works in political writing. During the English Civil War and the rise of Oliver Cromwell's Commonwealth, Milton became an active pamphleteer, advocating for republicanism and religious reform. Areopagitica, 1644, one of his most famous prose works, it argued passionately against censorship and in favor of free speech and freedom of the press. The Tenure of Kings and Magistrates, 1649, written to justify the execution of Charles I, this pamphlet reflected Milton's radical political stance that rulers could be overthrown if they became tyrants. He also worked as the Latin secretary to Cromwell's government, composing official correspondence in Latin. Major poems. Paradise Lost, 1667, revised 1674, Milton's magnum opus, an epic poem in blank verse that tells the story of the fall of man. This poem explores themes of free will, obedience, rebellion, and redemption, blending classical and Christian elements. Satan, Adam, and Eve are central characters, and Milton's portrayal of Satan as a tragic, rebellious figure has been one of the most discussed aspects of the work. Paradise Regained, 1671, a follow-up to Paradise Lost, focusing on the temptation of Christ in the desert, it emphasizes the importance of spiritual resistance and the idea of redemption. Samson Agonists, 1671, a tragic drama in the style of Greek tragedy. It tells the story of the biblical Samson, drawing parallels between his downfall and Milton's own blindness and political disappointments. Personal struggles and later life. Blindness. Milton gradually lost his sight, becoming completely blind by 1652. He continued writing through dictation, relying on aids, including his daughters. Political downfall. After the restoration of the monarchy in 1660, Milton was briefly imprisoned due to his previous support for the Commonwealth and his anti-monarchical writings. He narrowly escaped execution. Despite his political and personal hardships, Milton continued to write until his death. Themes and legacy. Milton's works are characterized by their religious depth. His Christian worldview, heavily influenced by Puritanism, is central to many of his works. Political thought. As a Republican, Milton's ideas about liberty, free speech, and the nature of power were groundbreaking for his time. Linguistic brilliance. Milton's command of the English language, his dense use of classical allusion, and his mastery of blank verse remain key to his poetic legacy. Milton's influence on later writers is profound, shaping English literature from the Romantic poets, like Wordsworth and Shelley, to modern authors. His work continues to be studied for its theological, philosophical, and artistic merit. Death. John Milton died on November 8, 1674, in London. He was buried in the Church of St. Giles, Cripplegate.